Hello guys, today we are doing some Nocturne Gaming, the new jungle champion that just got released in Wild Rift. For those who are observant, you'll notice I've now got a face cam, so hello everyone, this is me, Bobeic, and yeah, I know, don't get too distracted by my glorious looks, but let's get straight into the video. Okay, so this new champion, Nocturne, normally all the new champions when they get released, they are mega busted. Nocturne feels quite nice, but I wouldn't say he is that OP. So I'll give you guys a quick rundown of the abilities. I was trying to read them. So as I said, this was taken from stream. I was trying to read them on stream. Bro, there's way too much words over there, I'm not gonna lie. But I can summarize basically the important stuff. So you can see the little bar underneath his mana is like his passive, right? And once that gets stacked up, his next auto attack attacks in a circle around him, so it deals damage near him. So the only time that's really useful is when you're when you're clearing like jungle. It is quite niche, and I don't think you're really going to be playing around it too much. His first ability is when he throws out, as I just did there, that little smoke, and it does a lot of damage, and actually you get bonus move speed and attack damage when you're in it. So what you want to be doing when you're fighting someone is throwing the first ability at them, and then you want to try chase them down with the first ability and then fight them in it. Your second ability is a spell shield similar to Severe, and it is very nice actually, because not only does it give you passive attack speed, so it makes you attack really fast, but if your spell shield gets broken, then you get like 70% attack speed, which goes up all the way to like 100%. So you can see there, I looked for a gank, we threw the first ability at the Zoe, and we were able to sort of get close to her, but obviously she was too far away and didn't really want to use flash. Okay, and this third ability, as you can see right there, I did a fear. So it works similar to Karma's root ability, if you guys know that one, the one where it's like a massive ring, and then if you stay in the ring for too long, then you get rooted. It's very similar to that, except if you stay too close to the Nocturne, then you end up getting feared. So he's got quite a simple kit. And the thing that makes him super OP is the ultimate, which we are probably about to see here. What happens when you ult is you make all the enemies unable to see, and then you're able to dash across a pretty large distance just to any enemy champion that you can see, and then you can dash on them, use your full combo, and get a nice easy kill. So you can actually see there, while I was ganking top lane and using my ult to go on the Riven to get the kill there, what happened was I actually got another assist bot lane just for simply getting rid of the vision. Here we're going to see if we can kill the Riven. I think if my Renekton was on the same page as me, we could have made it work, but it's all good. We just end up getting the camps and clear this vision for a little extra gold as well. We let the Renekton last hit it, so we both get gold, because you know that's just a nice gentleman I am. And then we go back to clearing some of our camps. So to be honest, the clear is kind of fast. I think one thing, as I said, you really want to try and focus on staying in your shadow from your first ability. I think it's called shadow, but I don't know, like the black fog he leaves on the ground. So because you really get a lot of extra attack damage while you're in it. What else? Yeah, with this champion, you can't really gank without your ultimate, and your ultimate has a pretty high cooldown at the beginning. We can see we can maybe get this Zoe. Where's she going? We throw the first ability, we hit her, and unfortunately I didn't manage to get my spell shield off in time. I thought I could spell shield the sleep, but you have to actually spell shield the Zoe bubble, otherwise it doesn't work. So that's useful to know. But yeah, this champion, the ganks aren't the best, but if you have ult, it's really easy kills, especially late game. I think of Nocturne quite similar to like a Talon. He's not like a complete 1v9 jungler in that sense. Like if they're not by themselves, oh, we can get maybe a nice kill here on the Vayne. You see, it is quite easy to just run them down, especially when we have the first ability. It's very hard for them to escape. And you obviously have abilities like the second ability to prevent you from getting CC'd by anything. So it's really good against ADCs like Jinx maybe, who have her like chompers to try and stop you, because you can just pop your spell shield and you can't get stopped by anything. So we're just going to pick up the dragon here. I'm still experimenting with the build. I've seen people say, as I said, maybe similar to Talon, you go lethality with Trinity Force for extra clear speed, and it seems fine for now. I've also seen some people going tank boots, but none of that please. But yeah, as I said, you really just want to play around your ultimate. You're quite useless otherwise. But my first thoughts on the champion are, he's not as OP as like Rise. Like, don't get me wrong, Rise is like so busted compared to this guy, but he is still a nuisance, especially in lower elo. Okay, maybe we can get the Riven here. We know she's in this bush. Clearly she was just too busy shopping. You can see I popped the spell shield a little bit early there, so I didn't actually cancel anything, but it's fine. I'm looking to potentially get the Master Yi, but nothing comes from it, which is fine. We do have our ultimate up now though, so we can look for some potential ganks. But yeah, I don't know, what do you guys think of Nocturne so far? I think he personally isn't that annoying to play against. I feel like if you're an ADC, it's probably a nightmare, but like as a jungle main, I'm not really too bothered by it. There are just a lot of OP junglers, so he's not really that bad in the grand scheme of things. But I think he is very annoying in lower elos where people are a lot more disorganized. But that being said, like, his ultimate helps a lot when the players are better and actually rely on vision more. But here you can see it's really easy to pick up free kills like that. I think the most broken bit of the ultimate is just like the dash, right? I think obviously if you play it well and you play around the vision, you'll be able to you know, actually do quite well in team fights still, and play around your team and like you say, okay guys, they're not going to have any vision for a second, maybe we can collapse on the ADC or something. So in that sense, I feel like he's either a good solo queue jungler in low elo where everyone is sort of like all over the place and not really respecting the fact that you can just dash on them and one-shot them, or it could be better if your team can play around your the fact that you can just completely make everyone blind. But the downside of playing in more of like a controlled environment like that is then it's also harder to get picks. I think you'll find with Nocturne it's quite difficult to go in 1v5, which often is how you kind of have to do it if they're all bunched up together. So it's similar to champions like Rengar in that sense, where you kind of have to look for people who are caught up. We see another little fight here, but again, even though I have ult, I can't really go into all of them. I need to wait and then follow up, even though I am quite fed already. But we have 3k gold, so we're just going to base pick up our full Trinity Force. So now we should be very strong. 2 items. We can definitely maybe look for something here. We pop the ultimate. I try to go on the Zoe, but I can't see her, so we go on the Vayne instead. Think. Okay, we spell shield something maybe. I don't know. We get a nice kill there on the Nautilus and somehow kill the Zoe as well, probably with red buff. I'm looking for the Vayne as well. But yeah, again, you can see there, I think it definitely helped having the Trinity Force, just for that extra bit of tankiness. But it was quite hard to fight. If they weren't all quite low, it would have been quite a tricky fight to do. Okay, so we can see the Master Yi just chasing me down. I do get the blue buff. I honestly thought that I could fight him, but you know, Master Yi is Master Yi, so what can we do about that? But we are back. So Drake is up, maybe we can go and get that. We do have ult up again. The thing I noticed about ult is I think early game, like before you've upgraded to that ult, its cooldown is like 100 plus seconds, which is kind of crazy. I know it's like a global ult and it is really nice, but I think the ult isn't that good that the cooldown should be that high. I mean, I'm glad it is that high because I think if it was any lower, it would be like really annoying to spam gank with it. But the fact that like a champion like Riven, who has like, you know, ult reset and blah blah blah, has a lower cooldown ult, you know, it makes Riven much better for like team fighting and stuff like that. For example, I can't go in there, you know, you see like 5 people there. What am I supposed to do? I can make everyone not be able to see, but if they're all on top of each other, they can see anyways. So it really doesn't help too much. We're going to go in with the ult anyways. We have to sort of pick them off one by one. We do get the Master Yi, get the Zoe as well. I'm going to be honest, and we get the Riven, sorry. I don't really know like what's happening in these fights. It is really hard to play, I think, as Nocturne. Like, I'm not a Renekton where I can just go in and use all my abilities and they're all going to die. You have to play it much safer because you're quite squishy, but you do a lot of damage. That is one thing I'll say. But yeah, I think people are still experimenting with the builds. I have seen people say like lethal tempo, also seen people say like full crit. Not sure what's going to be the best for right now. I think I do like how he attacks so much, so I think crit could be good, because especially if you get your spell shield procced, you get like 100% attack speed bonus, which is kind of crazy and makes me almost think you don't need lethal tempo. So we will have to see what is best. But yeah, this game I'm just going for the classic lethality build with Trinity Force. We're going for Cyrildra's just to get that extra slow. I think it could be nice with the first ability, make it even easier to chase people down. Okay, there's a big fight there. I kind of want to collapse on the Riven because she's by herself and I'm pretty sure I can just kill her. So yeah, there. Nocturne really is just like a button mashing champion. I think even like Wild Rift says it's only like a 1 out of 3 difficulty, which I think is true. You can kind of ult on someone, and if you press all your buttons, you're gonna be fine. Like, you can't do the combo much better than that. If you first ability, third ability, and if you second ability something, obviously there's like some skill involved with that. If you can spell shield like the right ability, like the stun or something, that's always better than if you just spell shield some random nonsense. But yeah, you can see my team is fighting, but I somehow managed to do the Baron by myself, which is good to know. Obviously, I think some other champions could do it better, but with the healing boots, most AD junglers are able to just clear Baron by themselves, which is part of the reason why they're so OP. But you can see now already the clear is pretty fast. Again, I haven't really used the passive too much in terms of like, you know, doing the AoE auto attack. Doesn't seem like that great, to be honest. The main thing is just play around ultimate, try and go in on single targets as opposed to like a large group, just because you're much better off you know, surviving. You have a lot of one-shot assassin potential, and you're not bad in team fights, don't get me wrong, but obviously you have to play it a little bit more carefully, make sure you don't get just one tapped. But yeah, Nocturne is nice for some cool combos. One example is like with Orianna. They do this a lot on like PC League, where they will Master Yi here. This was actually a cool interaction with my third ability. I didn't expect this, I thought it wouldn't work, but I was able to still fear him even after he like dashed around. So I think if he had timed his first ability better, it wouldn't have worked, but the fact that he disappeared didn't cancel the fear. So I did still fear him in the end, which I didn't expect. So that's a good thing to know. Like, even if they stay in the range, they will still get feared. Now we can look here. Maybe we can get the Riven. I think another thing is I should still be using my first ability more, just for like random move speed. I really don't know where the Riven is going. Like, she's flashing to die under the tower. But yeah, another thing is, once you have a few items, your ult cooldown is quite low, and then I think your ult is really OP. So obviously the ult cooldown is quite long early game, but like at a time like this, it is pretty OP just to be able to go on anyone. But as I said, you have to try and go on the right people. Try and make sure you go on targets you can kill quickly. It really helps in terms of like assassinating ADCs and stuff, because they just can't see you. Like, not only can you just dash on them from like across the map, but the team will find it quite hard to protect them. But do keep in mind, like, it does make the whole minimap go black for them. Oh, we get a nice pick on the Zoe here. It does make the whole minimap go black, but they can obviously still see people like somewhat nearby. So we're looking, we go on the Vayne, that's an easy kill right there. The other thing I have noticed with the, we just clear these guys up now. The other thing I have noticed with Nocturne that I didn't like so much was aiming his ult. It's a bit of a nuisance, especially if they're all clumped up, to aim the ult onto the right person. So that is just something to keep in mind. It is a little bit annoying. They don't have any mechanic like Shen or Galio with other global ultimates, where you can just say like, oh, I want to go on Vayne, and then you go on Vayne. And typically it's hard to lock onto them because they're so far away. So just keep that in mind when you are trying them out. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of Nocturne. I think he's pretty fun champ, not too hard to play. So if you're just getting started in the jungle and in a bit of a lower elo, this is definitely a champion I would recommend. But yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know what you would like to see next. Bye bye.